Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 22 of the Quick Resume podcast, the sarkiest podcast on the planet. My name is Deck. I'm joined by my perishable buddy. Hi, Tim. How's it going, man?
Hi. I'm good, man. I'm good.
No explanation needed. Just perishable.
What, the perishable? Yeah, I mean, I did perish a little bit this weekend. We have a little ongoing joke where what was it? We were playing Xbox the other day, and you said that something perished. But it was weird, and then I was just like, yeah, is that how you like say all your food is out of date in the fridge? Like, oh, the milk's perished. Oh, it's gone.
Yeah. It's such a good word. And I think it was when I was playing we were playing the Ascent, wasn't it? And I did I not say it when I blew up one of the big guys? Was that not what that was?
I don't know. You say a lot of things when you blow up the big guys.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
all of it's happy as well.
Yeah, it's the happiest I've seen you in a while.
It's so fun.
That. It's kind of weird.
It's
like a red flag, and I'm also really happy for you, and it's also like a crazy red flag as well. So,
no,
not really sure how I feel about it.
I mean, there's nothing more pure than like gibbing someone in a video game. It's great.
I guess so. Yeah. Anyway, how are you, man?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about things. Things happen. Busy week. Be part of the conversation and all of that. So yeah, lots to speak about. How in terms of how I've been, I've had the week off work, so that's been pretty rad. Just been lots of chilling. I haven't really played much Xbox, to be honest, until like the last few days. But since our last episode, so, like the last 2 weeks, really, or just under that. I have a lot to report on, really, because obviously Psychonauts 2 has come out. I've played and finished 12 minutes. We've played maybe the first 2 hours of Ascent. And obviously there's been Gamescom and all this other shit that's happened. So, wow, quite a lot to chew on this week.
Yeah.
What have you been up to? I mean, I know you said you haven't really been playing much until the other day.
Yeah. So I had a bit of it was sort of one of those weeks where I think it's safe to say we're quite social gamers. Like, I don't tend to just hop on by myself to play video games too much. Although I did dust off Resident Evil for an hour, one night, just trying to get back into it, and I did enjoy it. So I'm slowly phasing back into that game because I do want to complete it. But yeah, no, I haven't been playing a crazy amount of Xbox this week, and when I have, it's been the usual Apex mainly. But I've also been playing Curse of the Dead God still. Like you said, we played the first few hours or couple hours of the Ascent as well the other day. Which I don't know. Did you want to go through that on the check-in, or are we going to touch on that later?
Yeah, we'll go through it on the check-in, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my I did enjoy it. It was I don't know. I felt like I have a real problem with the UI in that game. I don't know why. I just don't like it. I feel
everything felt quite buried.
Yeah, I feel like I just struggle to find anything. And even just see it. It's all the same color, that red text on a black background. It's all just it all just looks the same. Nothing really stands out. I genuinely have to stare at a screen for about 20 seconds to be oh, my skill points. Oh,
the text was really small as well.
My headset's screwed up. 2 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, right.
You carry on talking about the Ascent while I sort my headsets up.
Yeah, the UI does have a bit of a problem with just text being really small, things being buried. The menus are a bit wonky as well in that nothing is immediately apparent when you go to try and find what you're looking for. You'll get a new gun, you'll be where is this? Or it'll pop up saying new skill unlocked, and you'll be like, skill? Where's that? And you don't. So there's definitely a bit of a problem with that.
It literally took me a solid, staring at a screen for 15 seconds to just be those are my skill points. Okay, I have 6 of them. Yeah. Okay, great. I don't know, and even in the game, I feel all the, when you pick up stuff off the floor, it comes up in the bottom left in the tiniest text that you picked up a gun, or you picked up some money or whatever, and I find it really tough to actually figure out what I've just hoovered up off the floor. I feel like everything is so. I guess
Yeah.
they wanted to focus mainly on the gameplay and not clutter up the screen with UI. But I don't know. It kind of
Yeah.
gets on my nerves a little bit. But I mean, yeah, the actual game is fine. It looks pretty nice. Um,
Yeah.
Although I would say that it's still pretty janky on co-op. Being the person that's not hosting the lobby, I suffer pretty well. I would say fairly frequent just skips, like one
With
2 second
stutters.
hangs of the
Yeah.
game, yeah, and then it just comes back to normal. I get a lot of pop in, like in cutscenes where it's like, I don't know, like it like hovers over the city that you've just entered, and you can see all the civilians walking through it. You're like, oh, this looks great, and I've got all these civilians popping in, T-posing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It looks kind of. I'd say it looks kind of bad on
Yeah.
co-op sometimes.
Yeah.
When,
I did
when
hear
you're
it
not
was.
hosting it.
I did hear it was a bit janky at launch. I mean, I'm hoping it's a bit better now, but it
It's
might just be
probably
that
better
sort of.
than it was.
Yeah, it might just be that sort of thing that we have to put down for like another month and then pick it back up when it's like fully
Yeah,
ironed out. Otherwise, it's just going to be like a pain in the ass, isn't it?
yeah. I mean, it's not like really dampening my experience, but I can't remember the last time I played a game and people were popping in and T-posing like that. That's pretty bad. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, but the overall, when you're in the meat of the game, I do enjoy it. It is good fun. I quite like the whole, like, even though it's like top down stick shooter, I quite like how there's different levels of shooting. Like you
Yeah.
shoot from the hip and then you can aim higher for like headshots and shoot over cover. It's a bit
Isn't.
weird to wrap your head around to start
Mm,
with, because you're looking from the top down, but you can shoot higher and lower, and it's like, it just, I don't know, it's kind of a bit weird when you're actually
yeah.
doing it. But
It must have been really hard for them to actually figure out like how to communicate that to the player, because I know you're not the only one who's thought that. Like when I listened to previews before, there were people who were like, I didn't really understand the mechanic, but then once I did, like everything was so much smoother. Um,
mm,
so because literally all there is like you see the laser, like a laser pointer out of your gun, and you can see obviously where that's hitting in the environment. So when you're pressing LT, it goes up. And you can see like obviously in the animation of your character as well, like where they're holding the gun kind of thing.
mm,
But other than that, like there isn't like any like immediate, like maybe like you said, maybe they are like going for that like minimal UI approach, like maybe a little character icon, just like a like a shape just above your character, just to show you're aiming at head height, maybe just like a head icon or something, and then body
yeah,
would have
yeah,
helped. But yeah, once you've got used to it and you understand what it means, it's quite a cool mechanic. It's nice. It does add like another layer to the top down gameplay, which is otherwise quite simple. Like
yeah,
especially
yeah,
for a game that's not like an action RPG, like Diablo, where you've got like 8 skills on rotation sort of thing.
yeah,
And there are skills, but there's we've got like basically an ult. That's the tactical, wasn't it? And then like 2
yeah,
abilities, and we've only unlocked 1 out of 2 so far. So
yeah.
yeah, I like it though. It is cool because you have to like manage like knee height enemies that scamper at you, and then you want to be aiming for the head on bigger boys, things like that. So
Mm.
yeah, I do like it. Bit of a slow start though, wasn't it? Did you find?
It was, yeah. Yeah, it was quite a slow start. And I don't know if it was just like the sort of mood we were in when we were playing it. We were in a bit of a loosey sort of fuck around mood, and just we didn't like. That's why we just hopped on it. But I really didn't care much for the story. Like, even when I tried to listen to it, I was just like, okay, like, I don't really feel like
You
there's
don't like
anything that
Poon?
crazy going on here. Well, I like Poon, mate, but like, I I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's just the sort of mood we were in, but yeah, I didn't care too much for the story, which is a shame because from what I could tell, the voice acting was actually all right, for the characters and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
it
So
it was good, but like I think, yeah, I don't know. The problem, we said this as well when we were playing it. The problem the game had is that it threw so much terminology at you. It could have really done with like an encyclopedia system where like keywords were highlighted, so you see that and you're like, what the hell does that mean? You can just go into your menu and have a look. Pops up as this
yeah,
new, and you're like, oh, that's what he meant by that. They just
yeah,
like speak a load of jargon. You're like, what are you on about? Like, what are you talking about? I don't know.
yeah,
But you know, uh, from what I could tell, it was just like We were essentially doing work for that dude. I don't know who he was. He was like part of a criminal syndicate or
Fumi.
whatever. Spoon, yeah, and we're doing favors for him, but
Yeah,
that was pretty much it so far. I think it's just establishing the universe as well. It's like, oh look, well, there's lots of underground crime, and don't get involved with these guys and this, that, and the other. So
yeah.
yeah, I like the
Um,
I like the environments though. That's all cool.
oh yeah, for sure. And yeah, I mean, I guess while we're on the topic, I thought of a few more annoyances that I had with it as well. So, like pop-ups that were describing things that you picked up or things happening in the game or something like that. For one, when you're playing co-op, your game doesn't pause, so it pops up and it's just like, oh, you've leveled up. You need to do this, and this, and this. And you have to hold X for like a solid 3, maybe 4 seconds to get rid of this box of dialogue. And
While you're
your
getting
game isn't
battered.
paused. So you're just getting battered with bullets. Like, there were so many times where I was like, just get off my screen. Like,
Yeah,
what is this? I guess that's only a co-op issue, though. They just didn't really think about it.
it is, but
Um,
like I think there's a few too many things where that's like stuff is happening with co-op where I'm like, it wasn't ready, co-op wasn't ready, or
yeah, it clearly wasn't. Yeah. And yes, and sometimes the text would just like randomly disappear as well. Like I feel like something
yeah.
would pop up and be like, it was the same one with you and the taxi. It was just like, oh, you've unlocked the taxi. For a cost you can travel, and it just like went, and you were like, I wasn't done. Like, why did that
Yeah,
pop up go? That sounded really important.
yeah.
And then you had to dig through like a menu and like find that tooltip again to figure out what it actually was. It's stuff like that which I feel like just needs a bit of fine tuning,
Yeah,
just to make
and
the
that
game a little bit better.
it compounds it a bit worse because like the navigation is a little bit confusing as well. I mean, it's not horrible, but like sometimes it will give you an objective, and there's like you can press up on the D-pad, and this really like lovely like trail will pop up. It looks really nice, and it'll show you where to go. But sometimes like it doesn't feel like you're going in the right direction. Like you can just follow that, but when you look at the map and try and figure out where you are and where to go, like try and orientate yourself, it sometimes just doesn't quite add up. Um,
Yeah,
But it's just not horrible. Like none of this stuff is like game breaking stuff. They're just like minor annoyances, but they added up. Like that's all. They added up and dampened the experience a little bit.
yeah. I mean, I'd probably give it like a 6 or a 7 for what we played at the moment. I think as it ramps up, we get more abilities, and I don't know, we just get used to how the game works UI wise and everything. I think it will probably even out to probably an 8 or something like that. But
Yeah,
right now, I'd probably give it a 6 or a 7, to be honest.
I put it in a
It's
7 or
cool,
7.5. I wouldn't put it as low as 6, but
but it is cool.
I
And
liked. There's a lot to put your teeth into, isn't there? Like there's quite a lot of like customization, like upgrading your skills, upgrading your guns, and like specking into like there's like 10 different skill points. Um,
mm,
which was all really cool, but again, like undermined a little bit because some of the stuff, like, just it doesn't tell you what it means. It's like this upgrades your energy capacity, and I'm like, sir, what is energy capacity? What does that mean? What am I putting points into here? And it doesn't tell you. Like, it just doesn't tell you. So like, you just
yeah.
have to kind of figure it out or Google
I
it or
mean,
whatever.
yeah, and it's a very simple. There's no reason they can't just have in brackets energy is used for your augmentations in brackets, which is what it is used for.
Yeah,
There's no reason why they can't just put energy is used for augmentations, or like
yeah,
augmentation cooldown, something like that. But yeah,
definitely.
it's just it's a little bit silly. But yeah, I'm having fun with it overall, and I'm sure it'll get better. But yeah,
Yeah,
there are some annoyances with it right off the bat right now.
yeah. We did say it was getting better as we went through it, so we'll have to see as we come back to it. But
Yeah,
um, yeah, definitely worth dipping into. But just beware of like co-op bugs. I guess is the big drawback for us at the moment because without them, it would have been better. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, definitely.
that's the Ascent for you. So you dipped your toes in Resident Evil, obviously the usual, playing some Apex.
Hmm.
I did want to touch on 12 minutes because I completed that like just after last week's episode. I think. Yeah, probably. I don't
It
remember.
was a bit later than
I
that,
didn't speak
but
about it last
it
week,
was
did
only
I?
no, it was only like a couple of days ago. You told me you actually completed it.
Did I? Oh, I can't
Yeah.
remember because I think me and Beth are both sort of playing it together. But that was good. That was fun. I'd probably give that like an 8. I was like when I booted the game up, and I was like, it was the whole point and click adventure. I was like, I'm not good at this. Isn't going to be for me. I did the first half an hour. I was like, I don't know. But as it went on, like, it was kind of interesting. I did put up like a really, really mini review on our Twitter, in the 200 characters or whatever that I could. But like, I gave it an 8. And I sort of, it's really interesting. It's like a really like tight experience, and it's very like art house. So it's very like considerate with things that are happening and what that represents, and like how that symbolically is like reflecting the themes of like what's going on. And obviously the time loop is part of that, and like as the story develops, it's all generally very cool, and there's quite a good twist at the end. It's like quite shocking and weird. But voice acting was generally really good. James McAvoy didn't really care for. He was doing like an American accent, and I don't, because James McAvoy is a good actor, but I don't know. There was just nothing about it. Whereas Daisy Ridley is the wife, and Willem Dafoe was the assassin were really good. But there are a couple of times where progress was just too obscure. There was like, for most of the things that you do, it's one of those games where you could complete it in an hour if you happen to do everything right. You have to lose a couple of times to go through a couple of time loops, but you could still, and that's not a spoiler, and you could still do it really, really quickly. I did it in about 12, 11 or 12. But there are some puzzles. Most of the time, your character, if you don't get it right after a number of times, they'll start speaking and give you hints. But some of them, he just doesn't do that, and that can be really annoying. There was I think 2 points that I just Googled, like what the next step was, and then put my phone down so I could just get past that bit and keep going. I don't doubt I would have found it eventually, but I do that sometimes with puzzle games.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, but I mean, we play a lot of games. I'd like to think you could probably figure these things out more so than the average gamer as well, which makes you think that maybe quite a lot of people playing this game are doing the same thing.
Maybe. I think, it's tough that because I did this once on the Outer Wilds, and you know how much I hail that game. There was one puzzle on there that I had a quick Google. I was just like, I don't want to bother to do this for any longer. Which is it's been patched now. They actually patched it to make it a bit more clear, but it was renowned at the time for being obscure. And again, I'm sure I would have got there eventually, but it's like, I don't want to spend the next 3 hours just trying to figure this out. I respect my time more than that. And I still consider that game to be practically perfect, even despite that. So like, whatever, that's no biggie for me. But if for you're someone who like never wants to look up how to do something, I think there are going to be something in there that's going to rub you the wrong way, just because of the obscurity of it. On the downside, further on the downside, there were some parts of like the time loop progression, like as you move through the story, because you like learn more as you go through loops, and then you use that information in future loops, where it just didn't work as well. Like the storytelling works well, really, really well into it, but some of the puzzles didn't, because it became too obscure. Like the rules of the time loop weren't clear. Like, what can I carry forward and what can't I, and what information comes forward with me? Does all of it come forward? Things like that, and what conversations do I have to have? Do I have to have it in a particular order? Do I have to have the whole conversation again? Things like that. But overall, really enjoyable experience. Like if you're into all of that sort of art house pretentious stuff, which I absolutely am, I definitely recommend giving it a go. If you're into point and click adventures, definitely give it a go. But I can straight up tell you it's not for everyone. Yeah, it's just how it is. But I mean, it reviewed fairly well. I think it's settled at like 79 on Opencritic, I think, last time I checked.
Yeah, which is pretty good, like you said, for that sort of genre that doesn't appeal to everybody, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess reviewers are supposed to look at it from an unbiased standpoint. They can't just be like, I don't like this genre, so it's a 5. But like, but yeah, no, it is. No, it's cool, man.
But it's on Games Pass,
I'm not sure if it's my cup of tea either, but I might give it a go. I mean, so how long overall would you say you spent on that then? Like 5 hours?
No, I clocked in around 11 hours, I think, 11 or 12.
Oh, 11 hours. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which I think is, from what I've read, is more than most people did. So I don't know if I was just taking my time with it or if I'm just like dumb. I'm not sure. But
yes.
I didn't feel like I was playing it for 12 hours, to be honest. Maybe there was some time in there where I had like
like
leftover
12 minutes. Am I right?
pause. Doy.
Felt like 12 hours. Felt like 12
Nobody said it.
minutes. That's why they call it that.
Yeah, 10 out of 10, 12 out of 10. Yeah, sounds good, man.
Cool.
But other than that, what was I gonna say? We've done Ascent, done 12 minutes. I've just been churning through Hades. I think we spoke about this earlier. I'm on like I've gone through like five times now. Still loving that on my Switch, not on my Xbox. But you know, everyone talking about it has made me want to play it again. So it's that's just how it goes.
Yeah, man.
I feel like there was something else. What am I forgetting about? Psychonauts. I've been playing Psychonauts, but we'll come back around to that. That's in the news. So we'll do that. Is there anything else that you wanna check in on?
No, that's about it for me and the check-in. Yeah.
Great. Let's move on then to Gamescom 2022. Tim, you weren't impressed with Gamescom 2022, were you? Or at least Xbox is showing.
Really. Yeah. I mean, I think I watched it for about half an hour and then just turned it off. I was eating my dinner and I was just like, Gamescom, let's go. I even got a takeout as well. I was like, let's do it.
Wow.
And then what did they open with? They opened with Dying Light, didn't they?
Yeah. This is in the order. All the
cool.
notes are in the right order.
Oh, okay, I'm not even looking at the notes. I was just going from my memory. But yes, I do see the notes now.
Dying Light looks really good.
It looked good, yeah. I was impressed with that. So I did enjoy that. And that was pretty cool. And then when they were talking about Flight Sim for like 20-25 minutes, I was just like, I'm kind of done here, boys. Like, I respect the game, fantastic, but it's way too long a segment. Like, I imagine I'm not the only one that really just tuned out at that point.
You didn't see the PvP announcement on Flight Sim?
I did see the PvP announcement. I pretty much watched it all, and then I was like, "Fuck this, man!" And yeah,
Man.
I think I started playing Curse of the Dead Gods after that, and I didn't actually watch the rest of the show because I just assumed. So how long did Xbox have as a segment? Was it?
It was 90 minutes, which is a lot.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know it was that long. I assumed they have like 45, maybe an hour. And then I saw that Flight Sim was going on for like 20 odd minutes. I was like, well, this is going to be shit. I was like, half their show has just been like Flight Sim. Which, again, no disrespect. Like, the game's fantastic, but it's just, I don't want to hear about it for 25 minutes. But yeah, okay. So if I knew that there was actually that much still to come, I probably would have... I probably would have stayed on a little bit longer. But now that I think about it, I do remember seeing the announcement of the whole Sea of Thieves, Borderlands stuff, and everything like that. So, but I don't remember seeing Wasteland 3.
It was a DLC. They didn't show any. Or maybe they did show some.
Or maybe I just literally again. It's not really something I get that hyped about. I guess I just instantly pushed it out of my brain to make room for my takeout, I guess.
I'm still building myself up to play Wasteland 3 at some point, you know, with or without you.
We did play it a bit, and it was good.
It had some cold bugs, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it was a bit jank. Actually, it was very jank for co-op. Yeah, that actually, now that I think about it, I said the Ascent's one of the worst I played in a while. No, Wasteland 3 was worse.
It actually had some game-breaking stuff, didn't it? Where we had to like hard boot because menus wouldn't go away and things like that. Yeah, Quest didn't work. Menus wouldn't go away. The game just crashed so many times. But it was cool, man. You don't get games like that in co-op, and you know, there's that whole thing of like you can play it asymmetric as well, like. You know, you could make progress on your own and I could go on my own, and like we have to be together for some points in the story, but I definitely want to play it at some point because I really enjoyed it. I liked the combat. The role-playing element was excellent, and there was a talking cat with a cowboy hat, so you know,
exactly, it really ticked all the boxes.
It really did. One day I'll rope you back into it, but today's not that day.
Thank God.
So I mean, like I guess I want to like first talk about just like overall the overall conference, because like they downplayed it like weeks in advance. They said Aaron Greenberg, marketing lead, was like, don't expect too much. We're not announcing anything new. We're just talking about previous stuff. And we said this last week. We were saying, oh, Valve maybe. Like we knew that wasn't happening. And we closed last week's episode out by saying Gamescom is never big. Gamescom never has any big announcements. It's just usually like fun stuff with devs, which is pretty much the case. I mean, to be fair, this is probably a bigger Gamescom than we usually get. And to be fair, the format was quite good. It was like the at least I thought it was anyway. It was like the E3 extended look, like the 90 minutes or maybe 60 minutes ahead straight after E3.
Yes. Yeah, and the
It was
same guy
just like
hosted
that.
it. That guy from the
Paris, yeah.
He has a podcast, isn't he? He has his own.
He does his own one. I think he does
Show.
basement radio, but he's on Kind of Funny, yeah, the Kind of Funny Xcast. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, Paris is a banger. So like he, yeah, it was just like, so the format was good. I think they've got this format kind of down. I agree. Like they did speak about Flight Sim a lot, but like again, this isn't like a mass audience show. It's just kind of following cute stuff. But yeah, Flight Sim did drag on a bit, but hey ho. They had a segment later about Age of Empires 4 as well, and the same thing happened. They started talking about trebuchets, and the conversation went on for like 10 minutes. I was like,
yeah,
don't need to be hearing about trebuchets, but it is what it is. Overall, I thought the show was pretty cool. I wasn't expecting it to reveal anything new because they literally told us that. And Joseph Staten came out as well before and said, we're not showing you any campaign gameplay for Halo. He said that, but people were still pissed we didn't see gameplay on the next day when the release date was announced at Opening Night Live with Jeff Keighley. So that was wow, a whole bunch of drama followed. So let's just work through the Gamescom list because I wanted to. Did you see the Humble Bundle announcement?
No, I don't think so. Or if I did, I missed it because no,
You're passing out
talk
on
about that.
takeout.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They announced that there were like 9 games from Humble Bundle that were coming straight to Games Pass. I couldn't tell you exactly what they were. I've tried to give it a quick Google now and misspelt it horribly. But there is there's stuff that's coming straight to Xbox, and that made people quite happy. Humble Bundle's got a reputation, a good one. So yeah, that was nice. And the biggest thing, to be honest, like by far the biggest thing of the show to me was like the finalized announcement of xCloud coming to consoles. And we've been speaking about this happening for a while, but it hasn't been officially announced. So like you will be able to stream from your console. So that opens the door to streaming while a game is downloading. Xbox One streaming Series X games that they otherwise couldn't play. It opens the door to this sort of stuff, which I think is really, really cool, and it really it falls like really nicely in line with like this whole quick resume Games Pass approach of like just jump into something, you see it on the store, it's on Games Pass, you don't have to download it, you can literally just start playing it like right now, and they said that that's coming holiday 2021, aiming for 1080p 60 frames per second, and it wouldn't surprise me if they tried to get it out in a similar time frame to when Halo's coming out.
Yeah, no, I actually remember seeing a little bit of controversy about it, just being like, are Xbox potentially going to be screwing themselves out of hardware sales for like the Series X and stuff like that by doing this, by giving Xbox Ones and just like a crappy laptop or something like that that you can stream these games from, but then at the end of the day they're not going to run nearly as nice as on native hardware, right? So it will give people that taster of what they can expect from these sort of games, these next gen games, and I think that's probably what they're hoping for. And then they'll be like, oh, actually, I'd kind of like to play this like the way it should be played, and then they'll buy the hardware. I think that's kind of what they're going for. But I mean, I don't think it's gonna. I think it will probably hurt hardware sales a little bit because there will be people just like, why should I spend £500-600 on on a Series X or something like that when I can just play 1080 60 FPS these games and stream them, if your connection is good enough as well.
Yeah,
So I think to an extent it will, but
but
not much.
it's also important to remember that Microsoft really aren't in the business of selling consoles anymore. Like, obviously they want to sell consoles, but like they more care that they get, they're casting a wide net with the whole xCloud
Yeah,
cross-play on PC. They just want to get as many people in the ecosystem as they can. And if allowing them to stream stops you defecting to another console or another ecosystem, then
they've
they
won.
get your money
Yeah,
either way.
yeah.
Yeah, if you're buying a game to stream it, they've got your money. So
hmm and
that's kind of
it's it can be remedied with all these things coming into play and stuff like that. Then you just lower the amount you manufacture and stuff like that, right? And then if demand increases, then you manufacture more as and when sort of thing. But they can sort of lower the bar, knowing that it's acceptable on so many of these other platforms. They don't need
yeah,
to produce as many consoles as a PlayStation 5 or something like that, for example.
yeah,
But yeah,
definitely. Yeah, no, it's a good point actually. And I was just having a quick look online about some of those games on Humble Bundle, and I'm just having a look at a few of them here. I've heard of some of them, but
I
not
actually
all of
have the
them.
list. Yeah,
Yeah, Next Space Rebels, Bushiden, Midnight Fight Express I've heard of, and Dodgeball Academia. I've heard of Dodgeball Academia. I think that's probably the
yeah,
the most known game on that list. That's supposed to be pretty good. Um, yeah, so lots of partnerships happening. Speaking of partnerships, Sea of Thieves Borderlands set. Now,
yeah,
this
man.
is I mean, you have to go through like a series of quests to like get the set. And there's like a funky looking claptrap on the front on the I can't remember the name of it, on like like the bow of the boat. Um,
Yeah,
and for those, I remember seeing comments of like, this is a really random partnership, like why Borderlands of all things. But for those who don't know, Randy Pitchford is like a massive, like, bona fide Sea of Thieves fan. Like, he's on Twitter like quite regularly speaking about Sea of Thieves. That's why this happened. um,
yeah.
so uh, keep on trucking, I guess. I think it's quite cool that Sea of Thieves is becoming like more and more this place where other, there's so much like cross promotion in the game, and it's just a really good
Mm.
place for it. You just like marketing on your sales is it's just funny.
Oh yeah, for sure. I have no doubt that they'll probably be able to shoehorn Halo in some way and have some kind of
There's
Halo
already a set in it.
crossover or something. Oh, okay.
They'll
Oh,
probably
yeah,
do
yeah.
another one.
There is. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, they'll probably do like an actual Infinite one or something, and a
Like a
little quest
banished.
line as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of cool though, because yeah, like you said, it's one of those games where you can kind of really put anything into it, and it doesn't seem too outrageous, right?
Yeah.
Because the game is just considered just like a fun sandbox, right? No one's going to be like, "Oh, my pirate lore."
Yeah.
Like, it's just everyone's just having fun. It's that sort of platform. So
Yeah. And it doesn't
yeah,
impact progression or anything. It's not like a crossover gun that's like going to be triple S tier or something,
yeah,
Um,
yeah, no, for sure.
yeah, there was an Ori one a while back that I wanted, but I don't think I ever got it. But yeah, State of Decay 2. Another expansion for State of Decay 2. I've got to say, I was like secretly hoping it was like a bit of a. I mean, I know they've already done like a. I don't know what to call it. Not like a remaster. They did like a what was it called? Juggernaut Edition. That's what it was called.
hmm
And that was like all of the DLCs and like revamping and like upscaling and optimization and all of that. I was kind of hoping it was another one of them because I just want them to sort the co-op out. Because if they, I mean, I guess it's like
Yeah.
baked into the code at this point, but I was just secretly crossing my fingers. But it was State of Decay. So this expansion takes place on an island from one of the previous DLCs. I think it was. Was it called Trundle Valley or something? They kept saying it over and over again. And I was like, I didn't really know what it meant, but I don't think it was from the first game. I can't remember. But yeah, it's another expansion with more shit, new island, more zombies, that sort of stuff. But I'm glad to see the game still going because I'd honestly like to see what re-reviews would give the game now. I don't know if there have been re-reviews
Um,
for it.
I think there was a Juggernaut edition review when it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Um, but yeah, I mean, the game obviously it's improved quite a lot in its life cycle. I do think. I mean, I remember State of Decay 2 launched awfully, didn't it? Like really, really buggy and really, really choppy and just not great at all. So it's definitely better, but. And I feel like for most people, it's actually now it's probably a very solid game. It's just for us, we kind of want something different out of it. We want this co-op experience that maybe not everyone is absolutely gagging for, like we are. But yeah, it could definitely benefit from just having what we said about Wasteland 3, where you could progress in your single player campaign and it kind of you progress if you were to play co-op with each other as well. It sort of saves your progress. But it's almost like every time you go into somebody's world, if you then leave that world, go to dinner or your gaming session's ended, that character's just gone forever that person in your world was playing. Like nothing saves over,
Yeah.
and it's just it kind of just feels like a waste of time, but for everyone but the host. In terms of progression, obviously it's it's still quite fun, but yeah, So it would be quite interesting to see how did it get re-reviewed for the Juggernaut edition? Did you
I was
manage
trying to have a
to
look
get
on
this
like
inside?
Opencritic for like what has been going on, but it's I don't really know. I can't see anything. I mean, obviously it came out to like a 69 on Metacritic, so obviously not too hot. Same as Sea of Thieves, funnily enough.
Hmm.
Um, I can't see anything for like Juggernaut edition, at least on Opencritic. But having said that, I don't know how. Like, I don't know if re-reviews get automatically updated to Opencritic or if they do it
Yeah,
differently. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's only been a few for Sea of Thieves re-reviews, that is. So yeah, it would just be interesting to get an idea of what other people like, where they feel it is on that sort of quality barometer. Um,
yeah.
but hey ho, yeah, I'm glad to see the game's still going. We know they're working on their next sort of project. I hope this is their chance that they get the time they need, because I think State of Decay turns a lot of people off because it's like it still looks quite low budget. All the systems are in
Yeah,
place. People love that stuff, that sort of that like village simulator almost thing. Zombie simulator, that's essentially what it
yeah,
is. And all those mechanics are like really fun. They're really engaging. It's like micromanaging lots of different things and building up people with different skills and stuff. Like, I think that's all great, but like there are things like animation still look janky, melee combat still is a bit weird, like the combat is still a bit there. um
mm,
and then the co-op tethering, and it's just like, why? I don't understand why State of Decay 2 came out as low budget as it did, because like they had been with Microsoft for so long at that point. Maybe May 22nd, 2018. So like maybe they were just still at that point where they weren't fully like putting lots of money into their first party game. So hopefully for the next one
yeah,
that isn't the case. But it needs a bit more love, that IP.
yeah, for sure. And what is this expansion coming? Just like an extra chunk of story, an extra like more just expanding on the game a little bit, just more weapons, maybe more like another enemy type. Is it that sort of thing?
Yeah, you know how when you booted up the game, you could choose like different places to go, and they had like different like difficulty levels. It was like another island thing
Yeah.
with like its own difficulty level, and so it's a different variety.
Oh,
So
okay.
so yeah,
Yeah.
um,
Cool, man. Cool.
yeah. So that's State of Decay 2. Um, Next up, we had a new game announcement called Stray Blade. Now this looks really up your alley, actually. So maybe if you get a chance, you should give it a quick Google. Um,
Mm.
It was like a sort of cell shaded, like Souls like game. It was like a sort of looked a bit indie. It looked a bit rough around the edges, not gonna lie, but it looked good overall. It looked like it was an indie Souls like. But I like the look of it. Like, it looked kind of good. So well, I'm excited to see more of it. But it's hard for me to talk to you about it more without you having seen it.
Yeah. I think I'm just trying to think if I did see this one or not. No, I didn't see this. Okay,
Well,
that's kind
I
of
mean,
cool.
yeah, it is kind of cool. It seemed kind of cool. I
Kind of
don't think
go.
it got a release date.
It's kind of going for that like almost cartoony sort of art style. Almost quite Kingdoms of like Amalur esque,
Yeah, I was thinking the exact
or
same thing. Yeah,
Fable esque as well, a little bit. Um,
yeah, it's
yeah,
definitely
okay, cool.
stylized.
Yeah, I'll definitely give that more of a look.
Yeah, for
And,
sure.
and what you said, it's just like just an RPG sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
So that was announced. And then we had the
Cool. Cool. Cool.
Age of Empires 4 segment where I think they spoke a bit more. I don't know if they actually announced anything new. I think they just spoke a bit more about the stuff we already know, and trebuchets and like naval combat is something that they've spoken about more. Continues to look good. There, from what I hear, there is like a little bit of controversy around how the game looks from like the purist communities, like the Halo purist equivalent.
Mhm.
But that's like where I can kind of hand wave that away, I feel. But it continues to look good. So yeah, we'll just have to see when that releases in October, I believe. But yeah,
Nice.
Crusader Kings 3. I don't know anything about this IP or this game, but it's coming to Xbox consoles. So
Nice, man.
yeah,
What kind of genre is this?
yeah.
Is it similar?
I
I always thought it was like a similar like
It's
Age of
strategy.
Empires kind of genre, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's it
Okay.
is, but it's not quite Age of. It's not like real time strategy, which I think is what people would say Age of Empires is. I don't really know
Yeah.
what you'd call it. It's like like country management. I don't even know how. I literally don't know what to call it. Wonder what Google calls
Okay.
it. But it's only been on PC previously, and they're like bringing it to Xbox now. So
Okay.
for
Cool.
those who like it, that's that. I mean, it's got a 91 on Metacritic, so it's clearly a pretty loved game.
Quite loved. Yeah.
Yeah, Wikipedia calls it a grand strategy role playing game in the Middle Ages. There you go.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
Nice.
it's come it's coming to PS5 as well. It's coming to consoles, but yeah, it just was announced at the Xbox show. Then we had Psychonauts 2, which I'll come back to in a bit. And the
Yeah.
Gunk. There's a bit of gameplay show for the Gunk. Did you see the gameplay for the Gunk? The Gunk gameplay for the
I
Gunk?
I I did not see the Gunk gameplay. Gunk play the game of the Gunk. No,
The
I
Gunk
didn't.
play. No.
Does it look good?
Um, it did look all right, actually. I was quite surprised because the trailer they showed, was it last year, looked
Yes.
like
Yeah.
fine, bit weird, didn't really know what was going on. I don't know.
Yeah.
This one looked kind of cool, actually. It looked like quite like graphically nice. There's some more stuff going on. Still don't really know what it means other than that Gunk is appearing on planets. But
Yeah.
it's Gunk. It's Gunk.
It's quite a hard one to like pin your finger on. I feel like it had quite like a similar vibe to um when Recall was announced and like Recall was coming out. I feel like I'm getting a very similar vibe from it. But you
Mm,
kind of just don't know what you're getting until it's actually sort of out and you know
yeah.
like much more about it. But it does look like kind of interesting at the same time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see. I don't think we got release date either, but we do know it's Games Pass, and all of that. Um, Pretty sure there wasn't a release date. I would have put it down in my notes. I feel no, I don't think there was. But yeah, I mean, we reported on this last week. We said that they said that they were going to be at the show, and they in fact were. So I mean, here we go. Oh, that was the other thing. They I don't know if we did speak about this, but it seems that Xbox have like made a permanent exclusivity deal with this game now. Like when it
Oh,
was
okay.
first revealed, it was assumed it was a timed exclusive, but now they're saying exclusive, like coming exclusively to Xbox consoles. So maybe they, as the development's gone on, they've just got a bit more impressed with what they're seeing. So they're like, "We'll have that,
Yeah.
thanks." Um,
Yeah. Yeah. It's always a good sign, isn't it? When
oh,
when
December
something's
apparently
open and it gets snapped up. Oh, okay. Well, I'll definitely be playing that over Halo.
for sure. Halo gunk.
100%.
Halo is gunk. Um,
Whoa, dude.
I know. And then last, certainly not least, was 8 minutes of gameplay for Forza Horizon 5. Did you see this? Because this was, obviously fucking incredible.
Yeah. I mean, we've obviously seen gameplay of Forza Horizon 5, but I haven't seen this 8 minutes. No,
It
is it
showed like
glorious?
it showed like the opening 8 minutes of the game, and you like drop out of planes in different cars into different biomes. It's stupid, but it looks
That's
amazing.
fucking cool. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That doesn't sound stupid at all. That sounds fucking great.
Yeah, in one of them you reverse out a plane and a parachute deploys, and then you land and just like keep driving. And obviously the music mixing is absolutely banging as it always is.
Is this Forza Horizon 5 BR confirmed?
I hope so. God, I hope
Where
so.
we dropping, boys?
Yeah, drop in the
Uh,
volcano.
oh, nice
So
man.
yeah, alongside that we got a cover reveal for the game and the limited edition controller. Did you see the controller?
No.
You were useless. It's like
I'm not useless. You know, I tuned out of Gamescom mostly after the flight sim. So it's like you're just setting me up for failure. Did you see this? No, of course you didn't.
it's
And
like
it's just a
this
standard
really
controller
nice.
anyway. So who cares?
A lot of people can, man.
Yeah, well,
It's a bit piss
that
coloured,
way,
though. I will say.
Are you sending it to me? Are you?
No, I'm not sending to you. I was just trying to.
Well,
I was just trying to.
Let me do it.
I was just trying to get it up so I could see it. It's like, yeah, it's like kind of transparent and a bit yellow. There is like a little bit of controversy, so I'm interested to like hear if you like it or not, because it is a bit weird. It is a bit weird, but I do quite like it.
Oh god, really? This is it?
Mm-hmm. This is it. The yellow one with the blue and pink, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, it looks kind of better on the bigger. It's got this. They've gone for the see-through plastic design.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you can see into the controller.
Kind of piss coloured.
Okay, yeah, it's not awful. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of looks more like a Rage 2 controller than a
It does.
Horizon 5.
Yeah, it does.
But whatever, I guess.
But it's Mexico, remember? It's like
yeah. Okay, yeah. I don't hate it. I've seen a lot nicer controllers.
yeah, I mean, I prefer the Halo ones, both the Halo ones, but it's still pretty cool.
Oh yeah. The Halo one looked fucking amazing. Looked really, really good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Also, £65.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably standard controller. Yeah.
So that was how they closed the show out. And then
Nice.
obviously people like there were seizures were had. There was crying. People were shitting themselves because Halo wasn't mentioned, and there was squealing. Obviously, Halo did turn up the next day at opening night live with a release date of December the 8th. How does December the 8th sit with you?
Pretty good, man. I think it's quite a good time for it to come out. I think it makes sense. Both in terms of hardware sales and stuff like that, to release a game like that over Christmas, over like the holiday period. Assuming they get stock back in around that sort of time, for the consoles. But yeah, I mean, it's not. It's a pretty cool release date for me, to be honest. I'm happy it's this year. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean
as far as release dates are concerned, it doesn't. I'm not really too bothered. It doesn't really affect me too much.
It's a Wednesday.
Nice to see it in November potentially. It's a Wednesday. That is weird.
Yeah,
that is very weird. It's always a Tuesday or maybe a Friday.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, but yeah, no, yeah, it's cool, man. It's nice. It's nice just to have a fucking release date. Like, it's happening.
It is happening.
Hopefully they don't pull any more features from us as well.
Yeah, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
They're like, Master Chief's actually coming in 2022.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So you'll just be playing as an ODST from December 8th onwards.
Yeah. Voiceless ODST. Oh, rip. I think we said in previous episodes that December would be a good time because I think they were when they announced it last year, it was like a November, so everyone was assuming it would be November again this year, and obviously that's when the end of the Xbox 20th anniversary thing ends. So we were all kind of eyeing up that as the date, but it seemed a bit pointless because Forza Horizon 5 is
It's a lot.
releasing on like November 5th or something, and it's like, well,
There's
what's the
something
point?
else in November as well, isn't there?
A-
Something
Age of Empires is
else quite late.
October. I'm not sure.
Battlefield,
I mean, Battlefield is November as well, I think.
and then
So
probably the CODs as well. So yeah, it kind of makes sense to just, you either got to get the edge on them early, or you either got to release after, when the hype dies down from those sort of games, and you can have your own sort of month, your own sort of period
yeah, exactly.
for your game.
Exactly. And I think, we said that before, it seemed like they were just waiting for COD to announce a release date so that they could sort of strategically plan around that. And COD, they had their reveal not long. Was it even it might have even been at opening night live? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was like last week or something. I can't remember. But that was November 5th. So yeah, I mean, it's like, a month after that, breathing room from Forza. And I think they kind of want this steady cadence of having something in every month, like like we said with Age of Empires October, Forza November, Halo December. I think they quite like that. So I think this is a really good date. It's really weird that it's a Wednesday. Midweek is so bizarre, but that's good. Yeah, like you said, it's good to have a release date, and they're committed to it now. Otherwise, they wouldn't have told us that features were going to be missing at launch. They wouldn't. They're definitely locked into it. So that's that.
Oh yeah, 100%. And may I just say as well that the limited edition console looks amazing.
Yeah, that looked
It looks
fucking good.
it looks very, very cool. I love all the stars along like the top, like the galaxy thing. I
Yeah,
think it could have also been kind of cool if they just gave it like a green sort of chief look, but I also like low key like this one a bit better. I think this one just fits in a room much better than
yeah.
just like some green thing that just stands out. Um, yeah, it looks cool,
Mm.
man. It looks really, really cool. I
Yeah,
like it.
I kind of like that they didn't go with like khaki green, like chief green for once. It's nice, a nice change.
Yeah,
What even is it meant? Is it just meant to be like the Halo ring? Is that like the inspiration of that color palette? Do you think?
I well no, because I mean the Halo ring is like it's like a world on a ring,
It
isn't
is,
it?
but
So it's very green and luscious and stuff like that.
well, it
I
has
wouldn't
loads of
really know.
biomes. It's like
Yeah, it
mechanical
does.
though.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe it's like
But no,
armor.
it just
Uh,
looks cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's really nice. If I was a millionaire, I would have probably bought one off a scalper by now. And obviously the
Yeah,
elite controller as well looks banging as well.
the
Um,
Elite controller does look banging. Yeah,
so
very, very banging.
lots of things for rich people to buy. Knock
No,
yourselves out, go crazy.
not us. Yeah, definitely not us.
Yeah. But you are in the market for another like premium controller, aren't you?
I am, yes, yeah. I did see this Halo one, which is already out of stock, so I
Of
don't think I'm
course.
going to get one. And then obviously I was tossing up between the scuff ones we were talking about last week's episode. So
Yeah.
I think I'm probably going to go with the scuff one, just so it's just like I don't know, just for science almost. Like I'm sure it's going to be a good controller regardless. And the price is quite similar, so just to sort of, and if I really don't click with it, I'm sure I could always return it. But yeah, I am in the market for a new controller.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really cool, this new one. I did genuinely go to the site to try and get one, but I couldn't. They were gone within seconds.
Mhm.
So
There was also a headset announced by Razer. It wasn't at the show, but it was announced at like the same time. It's a bit weird that it wasn't at the show.
yeah,
Um,
I haven't seen this.
yeah, it was just like a Halo themed Razer headset. It was one of their Kyra Pro ones, which I don't know much about these headsets, but I know that they do. Razer are generally quite a well-respected brand for headsets.
Yeah.
It looks quite nice. It was. I can't remember what the price was. I think it was like 100, so it was in that sort of price range. Not budget, but mid range.
Hmm.
So
The green seems a bit off. Seems a bit too light.
quite bright. Yeah, it might just be the
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Maybe.
yeah, so
Yeah.
lots of Halo gear. This is the sort of thing. It's like Halo's coming out. Halo's coming out because like they wouldn't be making all this limited edition stuff. But I mean, obviously they had like the deal with Monster last year, which was like that must have been the biggest headache to manage. I don't even want to think about it. But this, considering we know there's already console shortages and they're making limited edition consoles with those shortages, it's like Halo's coming out. It's not missing this date,
Yeah.
or heads are going to roll.
Yeah.
There was they did like some awards, right? Which at Gamescom for like different categories, there was like best Xbox game, best PlayStation game, best Nintendo game, things like that. And Halo won Xbox Game of the Show, which is like, well, like duh, like of course. But then you look into the specifics of it and the requirements and what that actually means. And it turns out these games needed to have 10 minutes of gameplay submitted in advance to be
Nominated.
to be nominated, right? And obviously we didn't see any gameplay, so we don't know what the panel saw, and like we can assume it was maybe campaign gameplay. We don't really know. But it was up against Far Cry 6 and Elden Ring, and Halo got picked. So whatever they saw, I want to see some of that. I want to see some of that good stuff. Like,
yeah, me too.
So a lot of people kind of have waved that off of like, oh, of course, fucking Xbox have won. Halo won an Xbox game. Wow, big deal. But like, with the amount of like concern and talk that goes around Halo, it's like, well, actually, this is probably good news. This is probably actually nice to hear. So, whatever. Just thought,
yeah.
I just thought I'd mention it. Like, whatever. All right, dude.
Yeah,
I think we finished with Gamescom.
No way.
I'm out of breath.
Great. That's it then. Yeah. See you guys next week.
Psychonauts 2 happened. That came out this week, just after just after last week's episode. It came out. I think it was Monday, wasn't it, or something? Tuesday. And obviously, it's come out to banging reviews. And people have been saying this is an early Game of the Year nomination. It's currently sitting at an 88, I think, on Opencritic. It's come down from the 89 it was at early last week. Really consistent scores across the board. What are like your kind of reactions to? Is this like your expectations, or better than your expectations, or worse?
I have to admit, it's probably slightly better than the expectations I had of it. I mean, I think I was predicting around the sort of low to mid 80s, like maybe 85. It would settle as. So it's a few points higher than that, closer to the 9 area. But I was definitely, the more and more I saw of this game, the more and more it convinced me. And I think that as well, always talking to me about it. I was not too hot on this game when it was first announced. I was like, well, who cares? It's just a cult classic. People are just fanboying. And then, the more and more gameplay that came out, I was like, this actually looks really funky and really cool and really smooth as well. And it looks like a pretty decent game. So it does not surprise me that it's got these sort of scores, and I'm really happy. I'm really happy for it. For sure.
Yeah, obviously. So Double Fine, obviously the developers who have been like, for those who don't know, I'm sure if you're listening to the podcast, I'm sure you already know, but Psychonauts 2 has been in development from like 2015. It started as a Kickstarter, and it was meant to release in like 2017 or something, and it's just had, or 2018 maybe, and it's just been delayed, until eventually Double Fine got acquired in, I want to say 2018 as well. And Philly said, here's a blank check, go wild, finish Psychonauts 2. And like one of the big things that they said that they managed to do with this additional time and resources is put boss fights back into the game, which they had to cut because of budget restraints before. And it shows, man, the game is so polished. And, it is, I think it's obviously this is a game that has come out cross-platform. It hasn't come out on PS5 like natively. You can play it on your PS5, but in backwards compatible mode for PS4. So it's running best on the Series X and S consoles. But I think this really puts Double Fine on the radar as like an anticipated studio for Xbox. And we know that they're going to be spinning up like another team after this, and like Tim Schafer, the lead, the studio director, wants to make a new IP. And I think whereas before this game, everybody was kind of like, oh, can they recreate Psychonauts 2 or Psychonauts 1 rather? They've had a lot of good games, but like this game's been in development for so long, like how's it going to come out? I think this puts a lot of confidence in this studio going forward, and I think like by the time 5 years time, 4 years time, whatever, their next game comes out, there's going to be a lot of anticipation about it, because the last game was a banger that was a Game of the Year candidate. So I'm really happy for the studio. I'm also really happy for Xbox that like this investment in the studio has paid off. It's not a full exclusive, but it's still a reflection on the Xbox brand, which is what they need at the moment. They're still picking up that goodwill of like, can Xbox make consistent, good first party studio games? And here it is, really. So in terms of impressions, I played the game maybe for about 5 hours now, and I mean, it is superb. Like the style is just so unique. Like it's so wonky. Like the closest thing I can think of is like Sea of Thieves, even though it's kind of not, but it is in the sense that like everything is wonky. Nothing's like, there's no uniformity at all, which obviously makes sense because you're in people's minds all the time and nothing is ever uniform. But it's very, very nice. And I think I said to you the other day, it's nice to play a game that isn't like so dark. Like it's lighthearted. It's funny. People are like cracking jokes here. Like the game is trying to make you laugh, while tackling like these themes, which are like addiction and or like depression and like old age and things like that. And it's just really refreshing. Because I've been on a spree of just playing games that are not light-hearted. Like I said, I've just come off Mass Effect trilogy, which is like very takes itself seriously. I can't remember what I was playing before that. 12 minutes takes itself very seriously as well. Things like that. So, I really like that. And like, I'm getting kind of in a really weird way in like the story, I'm getting like Harry Potter vibes, in that you're coming into like an establishment, which is the Psychonauts, the team, the establishment that go into people's heads and try and help people. But then there's like kind of a seedy underbelly secret, and you're kind of like exploring that, like an internal kind of problem. I don't know why. Just really in my head, there's like a real parallel there for those two things, which I really like. There's obviously like a lot of mystery and a lot of secrets. It's just lovely. It performs super, super well. I haven't had a single performance hiccup. The art style is just wacky and all over the place. The sound editing has been a bit weird sometimes. There's been a bit of character voice overlaps, and there's been times that the loops for like the ambient music has been too short that it's pissed me off a little bit. Generally, like nitpicks, like nothing that's really dragged the gameplay experience down. Combat can feel a bit loose sometimes, but like generally still feels quite good. But far and away the star of the show is unsurprisingly the script. The script and the writing, and even the cinematography is really good. Just the way that the camera cuts in certain ways, it makes it feel very professional. I think that's something games don't tend to be very good at, and it really stands out when a game is good at it. A lot of Sony games tend to be quite good, have like very good cinematography. Gears 5, I remember, had good cinematography as well. And there's even like light RPG systems, like loads of collectibles, loads of hidden stuff. Like you actually level up, you buy pins to upgrade your abilities, and all of that was just unexpected and really, really nice. So yeah, big
That's cool.
congratulations, round of applause to the team. I'm having a great time. I look forward to playing more. Really,
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely something I need to boot up as well. Yeah,
it's also a massive plug in the portfolio. Like Xbox hasn't had a game like this in a while. I haven't seen a game like this, like with this amount of success on a system that isn't like a Nintendo system. Like that isn't a Mario game, like a
yeah,
platformer.
yeah, like a light-hearted sort of. Yeah, it doesn't take itself too seriously. Like you said, just not dark fantasy, right?
Yeah,
Um, yeah, you don't see that too much outside of Nintendo. Yeah, actually, I do agree with that. Yeah,
because it is. We have been
cool.
living in an age of like all AAA blockbusters are like dark fantasy,
Dark
like
Souls.
RPGs. Are literally, yeah, like literally, and it makes me think. It does make you kind of think of like the influence of. I mean, I don't know if it was a Dark Souls thing. I'd probably say it was more of like an Elder Scrolls Skyrim thing. But regardless, it's kind of just been that snowball effect of like, you look at all of Sony's RPGs, even like Halo, even like Gears. These things are all like they're still in that kind of realm. I know that's maybe more sci-fi or like military fantasy, things like that. But whatever. It's kind of in that same stratosphere, and Psychonauts is such a departure from that that it just feels very fresh to play. So yeah, definitely give it a whirl when you can, and it's on fucking Games Pass, man. So nothing to lose.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've already got it installed and ready to go, man. Just need to do it.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, there was some Starfield videos out of absolutely nowhere. I don't know if you heard about this on the Bethesda YouTube channel. They just like put up 3 50-second videos relating to Starfield, and it was to do with like 3 different planets. And they just showed some concept art, and they had someone voice over it about what that planet was and the relevance of it in the solar system that the planet resides, and what goes on there. And it got me weak in the knees.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing you've always talked about. Starfield is just how expansive it could be if they really just take each planet and sort of make it its own thing. Um,
Totally.
just like exploration wise, like everything can just feel so different.
Yeah.
So that is pretty cool. Yeah,
Oh,
and that's always what we
it's
wanted out
beautiful.
of Destiny as well, but we never got it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it's beautiful,
cool,
man.
man.
I'd recommend going and having a look if you get a minute. It's just 3 short videos, and again, it was a bit weird because it kind of
Yeah.
came out of nowhere, and Xbox didn't really signal boost it. I don't know. It's kind of like because they're quite hype, like they're only short videos, like but I just haven't seen them anywhere. I had to dig for them, and I'm a
Mm,
nerd, so
you are a nerd.
exactly. And like one of the planets was like this jungle planet with like lots of foliage, and there's like human colonies mixing with alien colonies, but then on the outskirts there's like loads of deadly predators. Cool. Another planet's like this giant urban city, and then the guy was like, this is like what Earth wanted to get to but never did, something like that. And it was like this really like awesome, like like a like Neo Tokyo kind of like city. And then there was this other planet that was like all water, and there's like a structure built on top of the water, and it's like a trading hub, stuff like that. And it's just like they just showed you like the concept
Nice.
art while they were talking through it for like I said, it was only a minute long each video, but it just gives you a real flavor and taste of like how varied this stuff could be.
Mm.
So I mean that's there. I mean I don't know if this is like the start of like a very slow drip feed of campaigning and marketing. We'll have to wait and see, but chef's kiss.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah, man. No, it sounds really cool. Yeah, that's definitely what we want out of that sort of game because we still don't know the sort of vibe of the whole game, do we? Like how RPG esque is it going to be?
Yeah.
How explorative is it going to be? Is it going to be more Elder Scrolls and the fact it's a combat RPG baked into a world, or is it going to be more No Man's Sky? But it's definitely cool just to have some more of this sort of stuff explained, and hopefully there's so many planets like that. Hopefully they haven't just given us like a nice taste, and then when it comes out, we figure out this.
There's
There's
8
only like
planets, and that's it.
there's only like 8, and like sure they're detailed, but there's only 8, and I mean that begs the question: would you rather have 8 like nice detailed planets, or would you rather have like loads but a little bit less fleshed out and a little bit
Mm.
You know, maybe some copy and paste, because let's be honest, it's unreasonable to expect hundreds of planets all unique, all with their own theme,
Because they're
all
handcrafted as
no
well.
copy and paste. Yeah, exactly. It's unreasonable to expect that. But yeah, it just
I think no, it's a good question. I think ultimately it does come. It more comes down to the execution because, like, I could probably be fine with somewhere between 8 and 10 planets if there's lots of different regions on those planets you can go to. If you think like Destiny, you
yeah,
go to a planet. It doesn't mean you go. It just means you have one place on the planet, and that's kind of it. Um,
yeah,
but so it does really depend. I think what I'm hoping for in my head, what it has been like, is a bit more of that No Man's Sky like fusion with an Elder Scrolls game where there are loads, there are lots and lots and lots, and they have an area, because what I would rather have is like lots of very distinct planets than a planet with different biomes or less planets but really really varied. I want to be able to go to this planet and fly into the stratosphere and go, holy shit, what is going on here? This looks incredible.
yeah.
Like, that's what I want. So, and then there's more opportunity for that with lots of distinct planets. I guess that's kind of where my head's at.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Whew. Boy,
You got a little bit hot there.
I got a bit of a chub.
Juicy.
Yeah. We got a dynamic background this week.
Dude, low key, this actually put the biggest smile on my face when you sent this to me.
Yeah.
Like, I was so happy.
Yeah, it was
and
cool.
I fucking love it. I fucking love it, dude. It's such a small thing, but I've wanted dynamic backgrounds for so long. And yeah, it's awesome, man. Like,
Beyond that, it's actually,
I do.
as I said, beyond that,
Yeah.
it's actually just like a gorgeous bit of cover art.
It really is, yeah. I mean, the only thing I'd say is what I mentioned to you is I wish like the skybox would move a bit more, like the clouds and stuff like that. But yeah, the actual it's lovely to look at. The colors are just beautiful, and yeah, and all the background images, and it looks great. It looks really really nice. I like it.
So I mean,
Yeah, very happy.
I think like, this, with this being the first like game focused dynamic background, it begs two questions of like, are we going to get more? And because I see a Thieves one, like, my god, like, can you imagine like the way of the
Oh
sea
yeah, it'd be
moving,
amazing.
the sunset, like maybe even having night cycles, day and night cycle, sorry. Oh, a Kraken tentacle
Yeah,
in the background just like flopping. Yeah. um
yeah, yeah.
what the other point of that is that I think, as gorgeous as it is spoiled a bit by the way that Xbox have their UI, in that there's just shit smeared across the middle of the screen. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know if they plan on having a UI overhaul at some point, but it would, because I think the UI is quite good, but I would like them to come up with a way where I could have themes that are like fully integrated and like look nice, or at least make it so I can customize it. Because there are tiles on there I could do without, where I'd rather just have Chief's muscly bicep, rather than
Yeah. But you
something
can
else.
make the tiles more transparent now and stuff like that.
No,
So
you can't.
there's obviously. Oh,
You,
I thought
you
that was the thing.
you used to be able to, but you can't. If you go and have a look now, it'll be gone.
Oh, they took that
Took
away.
that away quite a
I
while
didn't
ago.
even
Yeah,
notice.
yeah.
Because I actually made quite a lot of mine quite transparent.
Same.
So if I just not noticed, they've reverted back to normal.
I hadn't noticed the other day.
Uh,
Someone brought it up in one of the podcasts I listened to, and yeah, I was like, what? I was like, I guess you're right. Now that I think about it, then none of them are transparent.
yeah.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah, I always made mine transparent, so yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. But yeah, hopefully that is being thought about a bit, because it feels a bit spoiled, because the backgrounds and the opportunity and potential for backgrounds are so nice. But yeah,
Yeah. It would also be kind of cool if they just yeah, they could do more with the dynamic background as well. Like maybe when you hover over your squares or your tiles, there's a different effect around it, like a Halo themed effect or something. Or like the borders around all the tiles have like they're all like got like armor borders around them, stuff like that. And when you click on
yeah,
them, there's like a sound effect.
yeah.
There's lots of things you can do to make it a little bit cooler as well. But for now, this is still pretty sick.
And that's definitely what I miss from like the PlayStation themes is like the ambient music that comes with it and like the distinct like different sound effects, like you said. Like, can you imagine clicking on something and getting a little needle sound, like a little needle effect?
It'd be pretty cool. Yeah,
and you could just literally just have that Halo like classic choir music just like playing in the background. That would be enough. Like so hopefully this.
I want the I want a sound effect of the your
Yeah,
shields going up
yeah.
when I turn on my Xbox.
It'd be
That'd be
perfect.
so cool.
Yeah.
That'd be so good.
So I mean, it opens the door to all of that. So I mean, hopefully, the UI team is something they're thinking about because I mean, this is like gorgeous. I'd love to see it expanded on. We've just, it's like one of the weird things that we're like weirdly like into.
I loved it, man. Yeah, it's so cool.
So we'll see, dude. It's controversy time.
Oh god, controversy air horn. We need an air horn sound effect.
Yeah, we do.
For these.
It's just going to be a gunshot. It's just going to be loading a gun, putting it in my mouth, and pulling the trigger. That's all it's going to be. All right, so here we go. Right. I mean, I mentioned this to you yesterday, but to give you the full lowdown, I don't know if you've seen any other stuff about it or anything else, but basically, popular Halo YouTuber Ubernick reached out to the community. I think it's community director John Unishek. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. Sorry. About progression systems because they had like touched on it in a blog somewhere. I can't remember. And the response was, "Hey Nick, playing and winning matches will be challenges, which will help players progress through the battle pass. Even though this means no per match XP at launch, you're still always progressing through challenges and therefore the battle pass. We'll update the blog to clarify." So the question was obviously, how do we level up? How do we get XP on the battle pass? This was just about the battle pass, not about your account rank, your leveling up rank, just battle pass. And they've said it's just challenges, only challenges. There's no passive XP gain. This caused such a disproportionate amount of butthurt. I don't even know where to start or to end because this was crazy. I mean, tell me what you think about this because am I being stupid? This is not a big deal, is it?
It's a massive deal, man. I was one of the main redditors, like with my pitchfork and torch. No, no. I think me and you are very reasonable when we can look at these things from the outside and just observe the chaos and think it's stupid. I mean, speaking from experience, we play Apex. Apex has a challenge-based battle pass system. I don't hate it at all. I think a challenge-based battle pass system is fine. And like you said, it's separate to account level, and it's separate to, I don't know, whatever kind of level they'll bake into. I don't know. It might just be account level and battle pass level. I don't know. But yeah, it's separate to all of that. So people need to just chill out about that regard. It's just battle pass. And I don't have a problem with it if it's done right. The issue with challenge-based battle passes and stuff is they can be really quite irritating. I know that Apex it's improved on it a lot, but in its past challenges, they had really annoying things like you had to like land at a specific location, like for 3 games in a row, and then obviously you had like a load of other people would have had that same challenge too. So then everyone just kind of flocks to one area. It's just a massive clusterfuck. You just do it to tick off a box. You're not actually just playing the game passively at that point. You're kind of you're going through it like a checklist, and it doesn't really feel like too much fun at that point. But, basically it's hard to tell how they're going to do it, but I'm sure they've taken a lot of inspiration from games like that and from games that have failed in the past, and I'm sure their challenges will be very reasonable. It will just be like, play 10 matches today, get some BR kills, pick up a needler, or go get a killing spree, stuff like that. It won't be anything much crazier than that. So I think people just need to chill, to be really honest.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It's less about the challenges themselves. It's more about what the challenges are. I mean, I
Yeah,
moaned endlessly about some of the challenges that were in Apex, and like you said, the
they were
location.
annoying.
Yeah, I was annoying, but I couldn't stop. The location based ones are dumb as fuck, and they should never be in any BR. It's so stupid. I remember some of the ones in Fortnite when that first came out and they first started doing battle passes. I remember like you had to go around and collect letters. Like,
Oh
what the
god,
fuck? I don't want to do that. I want to play the game.
yeah,
So
it's so stupid.
it just
Yeah,
depends. It just depends on like how obstructive those challenges are to like the gameplay loop. If what you're asking me to do is making me not play the game and not win, or do something that could be of
mm.
detriment to me winning, then that's going to piss me off, and that's stupid.
Yeah,
However, because obviously the people who were pissed were saying that that was going to be the case. If only we had seen the multiplayer side of Halo, and people had played it, and there weren't millions of videos showing what these challenges were.
yeah.
They're fucking are. They're fucking. We've already seen it. That doesn't happen.
Yeah,
That doesn't happen. So yeah, you can go on YouTube and fucking look at people doing breakdowns of the challenges. It's literally just simple shit. It's like get wins, play games, get headshots. I think there was
yeah.
like melee kills, things like that. I don't know if there was any for like particular
Killing
game
spree,
modes.
maybe.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say people's concerns are like totally without merit, because there can be some particular challenges which can be really annoying, like I've just said. And sometimes if you get dragged into a game where you don't want to play, that's
Yeah,
fair. Like that's
exactly.
annoying.
Yeah,
And but then there are some people like saying like, oh, even if there's challenges that tell me to use the needler, then all everyone's going to do is camp the needler, and then no one's going to play the game. And it's like, have you played a multiplayer game before? That doesn't happen. Like literally, somebody runs
no.
past it, picks it up. Nobody's going to sit by the needler spawn. It's just not worth their time. And it's like, I get this impression that the same people making these complaints haven't played a multiplayer game since Halo 3. Because that's like,
Yeah.
it's pretty common. Like, pretty much every other free to play game has a challenge based battle pass system. Like, and this
Hmm.
shit doesn't happen. So I don't know why they think Halo's going to be an exception. It's because they're just very fragile and delicate about like preserving the sandbox and shit like that. But, you know, I understand the concern, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But from what I've seen, it doesn't look like they're going to be obstructive. And, um, there are re-roll tokens in the flighting. There was re-roll tokens which you got at some points in the battle pass, and I guess there is like a bit to be said about you can buy re-roll tokens. So like some
Okay.
people are like, oh, well, they're just making shitty challenges so then they can sell us re-roll tokens, and it's like, I don't think they're purposefully making shitty challenges. I don't think that's going through a game
Yeah.
designer's head. Um, but as long as you can re-roll fairly easily and they're not obstructive, this is industry standard, man. Like it's industry standard,
Mhm.
and like this is not just Halo, but this really fucking got people's knickers in a twist, man. Like people talking about this for days, and oh
But
god, it was
it
the
doesn't make
worst.
sense because a lot of these people probably are playing your games like Apex and Warzone and all these sort of games that
And
have
Master Chief
challenge-based
Collection,
battle passes.
Master Chief
Yeah,
Collection
and
is exactly the same.
they have challenge-based battle passes, and you're like, well, you're playing it right now. Like, there's a reason that every game uses them. It's because it's a system that does work. It's probably the most effective way of doing it.
It's good for retention,
And
isn't
it
it?
does, yeah, and it does make it more engaging than just general XP. Just go into a match, finish a match, go into a match, finish a match. It does make it more engaging than that. So, like, I
Yeah,
they just need to quit crying, man. The Halo community, as much as I love Halo, I I I despise the majority of the community.
community's the worst.
I think they are some of the most toxic people.
So entitled.
Um, I feel like if I ever went to an event like in person that had Halo like main staging or Halo doing something, I just think it would be such an awful experience.
I think
I
it would.
just think like it's just, oh my god, people are
Everyone would
just so
just be
bigoted.
angry, and like no one would there would be happy. Everyone would just be angry the
No,
whole time.
we'd be the only ones like woo. Everyone
Yeah,
else would just we just get like prison shanked. Like we
Yeah.
just get like murdered in an
There are
alley.
too many pixels on that assault rifle. I'm not
Yeah,
happy. It's the
yeah.
worst.
Go back, zoom into that brute's face,
Yeah.
enhance that image. No, I just yeah, people need. It's the community just being stupid. I don't have a problem with this. Like you said, we've already seen challenges. They're your bog standard things that shouldn't interrupt the way you play the game. It would be pretty annoying if there was stuff like, like get like fly in a banshee and kill someone in a banshee, because people would probably camp the banshee spawn in like big team battle. You do see people doing that in old Halos, just sitting in the spawn waiting for the scorpions to
But that's what I
spawn or
mean. People do
something.
that regardless.
Like
Like that. But
exactly,
is it
yeah.
really obstructive of the game loop? Like if
Well, it becomes more obstructive because those people are just losers, just sitting there eating Doritos, just waiting for their scorpion. So you only see like maybe 2 of them. But if everyone has challenges for it, then maybe you see 10 or 15 people doing that. And that's the key difference. But yeah, as long as it's not anything like that, then it's fine. And it should just be like general as well. It shouldn't be like get 5 kills with a sniper rifle, get 5 kills with a rocket. It should just be get 5 kills with a power weapon, right? You know, so it's not annoying. You don't go into a match and you're like, oh great, well the sniper's not one of the power weapons in this match. I can't do my challenge now. You know, it
yeah,
should just be general. It should always be just generalized.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah, it's a good point. So like I don't. It's not totally without merit, but I just think like most people need to look at the other games in the industry and the other games doing this and think those games are not only doing well, they're actually industry leading. So it's no biggie if Halo tries to do it, and they're I do ultimately I think it would be useful if there was like a little bit of passive XP generation, but it's not. I don't think it's a big deal. Kind of like how they do it in Apex, and maybe this is just because we come from
Yeah.
Apex.
It's very small
Where
and
you
unnoticeable, but
really
it's there.
it's very small, right? Because it would ultimately be a bit unrewarding if you couldn't, like, if you had a string of games and you had just gotten unlucky and maybe hadn't quite finished a challenge yet and you hadn't made a single bit of progress on your battle pass. That is kind of lame. Again, comes
Yeah.
down to how the challenges are balanced, and they've said that there's a near, I think, what did he say? He said he didn't want to use the word infinite, but there's so many challenges. Like when you finish a challenge, another one comes in. Like you have a constant feed of them. There is a cap, but he said that there's so many that he doesn't expect that really anybody will hit it. And that's, I imagine, to stop any like possible hackers, exploiters, things like that.
Mhm.
So that if there is an exploit, they can just get through it all in one day. So if there's like play X amount of games and that's immediately slotted in with like get X amount of headshots, you shouldn't. It just depends on how it's done. And from what we saw in the gameplay, and from what we'll hopefully see in the next flighting as well, people will be reassured that these are not hard challenges. These are there to keep giving you XP. It gives you a very small like goal to aim for. Like you said, whether it's like a particular weapon or maybe a focus on melee kills or headshots, yada yada yada. It just depends on the execution. Every other game is fine. Halo will be fine. Stop worrying.
Mhm.
Take a breath. Have a sandwich. You'll be okay.
Also, let's be real. Do you really have to be chugging through a battle pass at 100 miles an hour to be enjoying your game? Like, are you really playing the Halo multiplayer just to level up a fucking battle pass? No, you should be enjoying the game anyway. The battle pass is nice. You get I got a new helmet, but you're not just playing Halo for the battle pass, right? Like,
It's so weird.
chill out. You
It's
don't
so
need to zoom through it. It's just like fucking stop.
because
Stop and smell the flowers.
there's the same people who say these things, like the purists and like the old school gamers are the same sort of people who like don't like lots of progression mechanics in their game. They're like, I don't. Why is there a battle pass? Like kind of thing. But now they're angry that the battle pass like has challenges, and it's like, what do you want? Like, so I just don't understand. Like, there's no compromise with these people. It's just rose tinted glasses, and I think people like often forget that. Like, we are in an age. I'm not going to pretend we're not in an age of video games where like some practices are not exploitative, because they definitely can be. But there are upsides and downsides to that. And, one of the downsides, arguably, like we spoke about a couple of weeks back, is like the color shaders. And some people are like rightfully maybe a bit upset about that. But there are upsides to that as well. And it does mean that it's part of the monetization. And that means you're going to get more shaders and more armor and more DLC for free in the future. In the past, like Halo 3 did not have much armor. There were like 12 sets of armor. That was it. Okay, you could color them however you want, primary and secondary, but like that was it. Like you were done. Oh, there were map packs that like segregated the community. And this shit sucks. So like, it's always a game of pros and cons. And I think this is just one example of like how these things have to be done so that the game can have a continued life cycle. And may I add, in case everybody's forgot, because everybody seems to have a very small brain fish memory when it comes to good news about Halo, but very, very big brain, like galaxy brain about Halo when it's bad news, is that battle passes don't expire, ladies and gents. You can take as long as you want to do them. You can switch between them however you like. So, it's just the Halo. Like I said, there is some like maybe a sliver of merit to all of this, but most of it is really just not a big deal. It's please stop.
yeah, absolutely.
And it's like we just forgot that the Halo flighting happened and that everybody was over the moon. Like we spoke about this a few weeks back, Dan. I was saying like I'm absolutely thrilled that the community and everyone on YouTube is saying how good the flighting was. Return to form for Halo. Halo's going to be at the top there with COD again come this holiday, because that's how good the multiplayer felt. But now it's like, oh, there are challenges for your battle pass. Halo's dead. It's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Just don't fish a small brain, man. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Hopefully, I'm sure that the next flighting will roll around with Big Team Battle and everyone will forget, magically forget that this happened. But maybe not. Kill me. Okay.
Yep.
Any closing thoughts on this whole debacle?
No. I think the general consensus is just quit. Just quit being a bitch. Really, like it's not going to be as bad as you think. In the scheme of things, it's fucking minuscule. Just stop. Really just stop. Get a hobby. Bashing on Halo, and just man. That's my ending statement.
It really is, isn't it? You can imagine them like on a CV. Hobbies: gaming, bashing on Halo. Those are my two hobbies.
Yeah.
It feels like a full-time job, honestly. It must be tiring to do it this much.
Yeah, it must be really hard, yeah. Poor guys.
Crikey. Okay, so after this, there was an Inside Infinite. The monthly blog that the team at 343 do, the lovely people at 343 do, to speak about the development of the game, yada, yada, yada. And they updated this blog to briefly reflect some of the controversy that went on. And they said, and I quote, "Using challenges, our goal is that you will always be earning progress in our battle pass through playing and winning matches. This will allow you to always jump into a game of Halo and make progress on your goals." Like straight up, the dude said playing and winning matches, and I said, you can go onto YouTube and see these challenges right now. Don't worry, you're not going to be asked to do a triple 360 backflip with a sniper rifle on a Spartan's right leg for the kill. That's not going to be the case. So we chill, we vibe in. We'll see you at the next flying.
Yeah.
So when I said earlier that there was no campaign gameplay showed at Gamescom, I also said that, just a week before that, Joe Staten, the current creative director of Halo Infinite, had said, don't expect any gameplay at Gamescom. We're going to save campaign gameplay until close to launch. Guess what people thought was going to be at Gamescom?
Campaign gameplay?
Campaign gameplay. They expected campaign. Why did they expect campaign gameplay? It's just one thing to another, man. It's fucking exhausting. It's like, I can't believe they didn't show a release date. This is looking bad for Halo. They show a release date. I cannot believe they didn't show campaign gameplay. This is looking real bad. It's so exhausting following. It's hard. Do you know what I would? It's hard liking Halo. It's really hard.
It is. It's tough, man. It really breaks you down, like emotionally and
God.
physically. It's tough. It's a
Oh,
full-time job liking it as well.
all right. We appear to have lost
Yeah.
Tim in the middle of
Oh.
my rant there, so we'll we'll pause.
We got to us.
Yeah. Sorry about.
Always.
So we're back. I thank. It's probably for the best you didn't hear the words that I used because it got quite intense.
Yeah, it's like it was just censored. The universe censored it.
Yeah. But I've had a few deep breaths and I'm feeling okay now. But you know what I mean. It's hard. It's hard to be excited. There's a group of very vocal people who just don't seem to want anybody else to be excited and just want to be upset.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. So I am. There, what was said on the Inside Infinite post regarding the no showing of campaign gameplay, even though they'd already clarified, was the following. For campaign, that means putting maximum effort into ensuring the wide open, adventure-filled experience you'll all get to play on December the 8th is as great as it possibly can be. And gameplay demos and trailers not only take a huge amount of effort to do, they also take away cycles from other bugs and other shutdown tasks. Joseph Staten has said that they're in shutdown mode, which is essentially fully focusing on getting everything fully polished off and ready to ship. So even though they'd already cleared that up, he double cleared it up. So I just wanted to clarify that as well. The reason because a lot of people are saying that because we haven't seen campaign gameplay from last year, that's a concern. Add it to the long list of hypothetical concerns about the campaign. So which I'm not even going to go there. So there is a segment which I'd like you to read for me. So you warm up your tongue and your lips. And what other orifice?
This whole paragraph.
Yeah, this whole paragraph. This came at the bottom of every Inside Infinite. Joseph Staten writes a paragraph, and it never ceases to get me fucking tingling. He just writes a paragraph about the game, usually about the multiplayer, something that he's usually played. So at the end, he did this, and I was just going to read through it because it's really exciting, man. And you won't have read it, so when you're ready, go ahead.
So the whole thing, not just what's
the whole thing, please.
Okay. I would like to share, however, that right before I left for Los Angeles, I had to pause a full playthrough of campaign that I started late last week. I'm going for a 100% run, which means completing all primary and secondary missions, finding all collectibles, etc. I've played Infinite's campaign multiple times, but every time I do, I always find something new tucked away on Zeta Halo.
Sure.
I don't know what that means. Sometimes these are quiet little bits of environmental storytelling, such as abandoned but desperately defended Marine recon outposts, high on a lonely mountainside. Fortunately, the Banish missed the fully loaded Season 7 sniper rifle that the Marines left behind. It's quite funny. Sometimes these are combat encounters with deviously polished scripting. For example, a UNSC forward operating base that seemed abandoned until I heard the laughter and taunts of multiple energy sword-wielding and cloaked elites as I stumbled into their trap. Close quotes.
Very nice. Zeta Halo's the ring. It's just the name of the ring that's for Halo Infinite.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. Man, I think these sorts of like sandbox like approaches for Halo just sounds so good because it's such a good universe for it already, and that just sounds like a delight, So I just liked it, man.
Yeah, it's nice to sort of like you said, the environmental storytelling is just really cool. Sometimes you don't need a quest with dialogue and to take you and hold your hand through like a piece of story. It's nice just to stumble across and just sort of piece together what happened. you can see a dead Marine, you can see an elite with a bullet through his chest, holding an energy sword that the guy was stabbed with, and all that kind of stuff. You can piece this sort of stuff together with just the scenery.
Totally. And I
and it makes it feel less scripted as well, right? It's just it's just shit that's happened in the world, right? And you're just stumbling across
definitely.
it.
And I also like this idea of like just using power weapons, and I don't know if they'll have like power weapon variants, kind of like they did in Halo 5, but nonetheless, of like let's say you start a mission and you're not having any luck with your AR and your Magnum, so you turn back around, head up the hill, go up to a banished base, and you get yourself clear that out, get yourself a skewer and like a bulldog shotgun, and all of a sudden you're breezing through the main mission, things like that. I just think that's nice. It's just a nice fit into the universe as well. Obviously, we know very little about the campaign or how it's going to work. From the 2020 demo, it looked like there will be like skill points, but maybe we don't know what that means, or even if that's still in the game. So I'm interested to see how this all works out, like this melding of this open world kind of sandbox approach to a Halo campaign, because that's really, really different to what Halo is. But it in theory, I think it's a really good fit. And every time Joe describes it in these blogs, I get the tinglies, man. I get the big tinglies.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was very cool to sort of read. Yeah, no, it's definitely quite exciting, especially the whole like cloaked elites just like waiting for you, like as you go into the space to just loot it and just see what's there. Definitely. Right? Yeah, it's kind of cool,
even if it won't be
cool. That was pretty sad. You just bummed me out again.
Sorry. Yeah, that's me.
What's wrong
I'm in
with
disguise.
What is wrong with you? Becoming what you hate.
All right. Well, I mean, we've got the big news stories out of the way. All the big boys are done. There's just a couple of things I wanted to speak about. With the other, so I don't know if you saw this, but Horizon Forbidden Dawn, that big PlayStation game, has been delayed to February 2022. Now, I think this is a bit weird. No, I don't think it's weird. I just think it's, and I don't know if I'm just being like an Xbot, but like when the PS5 was announced, it was announced with like 4 banger exclusives for the year. They've obviously had like the launch couple of months were great. They're Demon's Souls, Miles Morales, Returnal, Ratchet and Clank, delightful, huge, like lovely games there, really good, all received well, fantastic. However, they also said for some reason that God of War was coming out 2021. Why did they say that? Why did that was not happening?
Yeah, that's never.
They said Gran Turismo.
Drop hype.
Yeah, exactly. They said Gran Turismo was coming out in 2021. Almost immediately, they were like, "Nah, just kidding, 2022."
Baited. Thanks for the sales, though.
And now, and obviously, we maybe Horizon is a little bit different because they did show us gameplay, but there's like a good chance that could have just been a well prepared vertical slice, and we don't really know how far the game. I mean, they've given us a release date now, so that's like But my point being that I think it's a bit cheeky to have said that these games were coming out this year to then push them back. I know it's COVID. Hey, I know I'm saying that like unironically after just speaking about Halo that's literally was meant to be a day one release. So I'm trying to think of any other. Have there been other Xbox games that have been delayed? I don't think there have been, but what I'm smack my mic and flapping my hands around so much. But we've ended up in a universe, Tim, where Xbox has 3 AAA games coming out at the end of the year, and Sony has none. What?
It's pretty crazy.
When did that happen?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
I feel like I might have fallen into a mirror or something. I'm in some sort of parallel dimension.
I know.
Yeah.
So it's just
pretty crazy.
It's one of those things that like in the grand scheme of things, I think we've said this a few times, but like Xbox is picking up traction, man, and like Xbox has been on a bit of a hot streak in terms of game releases, even in the last few months. Across Death's Door, Psychonauts, the Ascent 12 minutes. There's something else I'm missing as well. Can't remember, but Flight Sim. And then towards the end of the year, it's like Sony haven't appeared at an E3. They didn't appear at Gamescom. They haven't had a state of play since they showed Horizon off. Like, I don't know, they're just kind of radio silent, they're just delaying stuff. And I mean, that's fine, do what you got to do. But what I'm more saying is that this is kind of like Xbox finally are being competitive, right? And I always said, if you go back to earlier episodes, I always said that Flight Sim was the start of this. It was the dam was cracking with Flight Sim. And now that that's out the door, there's just stuff after stuff after stuff. And, even as we look beyond 2021, we've got Starfield and Redfall in 2022, probably in the back half, but huge games. And there's other stuff. I think Stalker is a timed exclusive as well. There's other stuff I'm definitely forgetting.
I think Stalker was timed.
Yeah.
Or was it just fall?
Yeah, I can't remember, man.
I think it might have just been full exclusive.
No, it definitely wasn't full exclusive. Yeah,
sure?
definitely. It was maybe timed. But
you're right. Yes, no, it is. I'm pretty sure it's timed.
Yeah. We'll have Deathloop this time next year.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show that even when they're big boys, Sony's big boys are coming out, we're still competitive even around that sort of time period, as well as releasing tons of stuff now. So
for sure,
we're definitely sitting in the spotlight more so than them at the moment. So
it's just good. It's good because there was a stage like around the circa 2017 where like PlayStation was just releasing like a banger every couple of months that was coming out with like really high scores, and it was like, my god, are you going to do anything? You're like poking, like that meme with like the stick, like come on, do something, like poking the Xbox, right?
Yeah.
We have Halo Wars 2, Crackdown 3 is coming out soon, so we're past that, thankfully. So it's just weird. It's just weird that that's how it's ended up. Other, of course, than like Deathloop and Kena, and obviously Deathloop is a bit of a funny one because that's published by Xbox first party. We all know. It's weird, and the game's going to slap. I'm absolutely sure of it, but we'll have to see when the time comes.
Yeah, it's coming out next month.
Yeah,
next month, isn't it? Definitely.
It'll be funny when we have to dedicate a portion of the podcast to speaking about a PlayStation game that neither of us have played.
That's Oh Jesus! Yeah, that's true. That game does look good.
It does. It will slap. Other bits and bobs. Sea of Thieves is starting up their own Twitch channel, Sea of Thieves Television. They're just gonna have content creators on it. I've said this before, but I'm glad Sea of Thieves is still in its stride. It's not like it's slowing down. In actual fact, it seems like they're still picking up. And I think it was Joe Neat. Is he the director? I think he's the director. Had said, tweeted last week saying that he just got an email from Mike Chapman. Maybe he's the director. I don't fucking know. He's one of the other big boys, and he was like an email of like a long list of things that's on the roadmap, and he just said he was like starry-eyed, like reading it and like excited about the stuff that they're planning to put in the game. So there's this. They're like having their own Twitch channel where they're going to have like content creators regularly doing stuff, and that just suits the game. It's the sort of game that really caters to like Twitch like viewership, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, it's cool. Very cool.
And the final small bit, Little Nightmares 2 is getting an optimization. I really want to play this game. Actually, have you heard anything about Little Nightmares 2?
I have. Yeah. I've heard it's good, man. And I've seen some clips and some videos on it. I've tried to stay spoiler free because it is something I want to play. It looks
really creepy.
It looks really creepy. Yeah. Some of the designs. Was this the one where there was like a really like long neck lady?
Yeah.
That freaks me out, man. That really freaked me out. She like chases you through the level.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of praise for the game, and it reviewed really well as well. I'm just waiting for it to come on Games Pass, really, or maybe go on a deep sale, because it's just not at the top of my list.
That was my next question.
Yeah, that's all. It's just not at the top of my list. But it's not. There's no announcement yet, but it's when it does happen, I'll be playing it optimized. So.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's definitely the sort of game that will find its way onto Games Pass. And probably quite near the enhanced time period as well. They haven't announced it yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do come hand in hand.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just still dotting the I's and crossing the T's and that. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. That's kind of it. If you've got any comments, any concerns about our mental health, any questions about what
our mental health, I don't want to hear about that. I don't know. Keep that to yourself.
Is that Tim Kid? All right. Yeah, man. Hit the subscribe button, like the video, ask us a question. Mm-hmm. We have a lot to say. We're interesting fellas.
Yeah,
we have spicy takes. Follow us on Twitter. Tim, do you have any thoughts before we go anywhere to have fun?
No
thoughts.
No, you've closed it very nicely.
Great.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in to the QRP. Guys, we'll see you next week. Take care of yourself. Go for a walk. Have some water. Bye.